Welcome to the Positive Persistence Podcast, where ordinary people inspire your extraordinary success. Hey, what's up, family? I'm hopping on for another solo cast. And today I want to talk to you guys about imagination and why I think it's underutilized and sometimes even forgotten. But before we get into that, I just want you to remember how you used to use your imagination when you were a kid, where you would dream without boundaries. You would dream without any guardrails. And your dreams are the things that you aspired to, the things that you thought in the future that you were going to grow up to become, like you were going to become an astronaut, or you wanted to become a police officer or a dentist or a doctor or a superhero. It doesn't matter. But when we're kids, we dream in vivid color. That dream and that imagination that we use really starts to create something that we want to achieve in the future. Now, somewhere along the line, we as adults, we stop using our imagination. We stop dreaming about the things that we want to achieve, especially those big, hairy, audacious goals or dreams that we have for ourselves, the things that we want to achieve in the future. We have a son that is about to go into college, and he is starting a new chapter of his life. And his imagination and his dreams are now going to change into what he wants to become or start to work towards in the next 4 years, 6 years of his life. But I feel like we as adults, sometimes we stop ourselves short. We forget how to use our imagination because we are scared of it. And what I mean by that is we cut ourselves off at the knees about the dreams that we want to achieve because we already feel that we can't do it. Whether that is we feel that we don't have the resources, the connections, the knowledge, the experience. Before we even let that dream, before we even let our imagination take full form, we cut it off because we have that fear of failure, that I'm not going to be good enough, or I'm not going to be able to achieve that, or I can't do this, or I don't do that. We start to lose the power of our own imagination. And I'm speaking from experience. When I was in the hospital for almost 4 weeks, paralyzed from the chest down, you can imagine I had a lot of time on my hands. And I used my imagination to paint a very vivid picture of what I wanted to achieve. Now, it took me 13 plus years to get it done. It didn't happen overnight. But if it wasn't for that imagination, if it wasn't for that dreaming, I wouldn't have been able to make it happen. And one of the ways I made it happen is by keeping that dream alive, keeping that imagination vivid, really picturing what I wanted to achieve and how I was going to feel when I did it. So having that picture and connecting the emotion really started to pull that end result towards me. And I don't mean literally, I mean figuratively, but here's what I noticed happened is the more that I started to imagine my success in being able to walk again and eventually being able to run again, the more I imagined being able to do mundane tasks like being able to stand on my own or holding my kids in my arms, things like that, conversations started to pop up that I may not have paid attention to before. Videos on social media would pop up that I may not have seen before. So you guys have all heard about the reticular activating system, right? So what we think, we become. So as I started to almost obsess about what I wanted to achieve, my dream, started to use my imagination about what it was going to feel like and look like to do these things, all of a sudden the universe started to reward me by bringing things into my periphery. Again, conversations, podcasts, maybe book titles, people, right, that I would not have paid attention to before, now are front and center. And I was able to use those things and leverage them to help me get to where I wanted to be. And it was all because of the imagination that I used, the dream that I had. And I wasn't scared that I wasn't going to be able to achieve it because it was that important. So if you are striving towards something. Do not rest on the fact that you can't make it, that you won't make it. Use your imagination. Paint that vivid picture in your mind's eye of what it's going to look like, feel like, taste like, sound like when you achieve your success. And keep that on replay in your mind over and over again. Because what you put out comes back. And I truly believe that. But again, know this, that it may not happen overnight. You may have to have that long obedience in the same direction with aggressive patience, as Ben Newman talks about. You may have to continue to put the work in and keep your dream alive with your imagination to make it happen. Your imagination is so powerful, and dreaming and imagination isn't just for kids, right? So don't sleep on it. Utilize it, revitalize it. Find that dream, open up that imagination, and see what happens next. I'll see you next time. Thank you for tuning in and being part of the Positive Persistence family. We're having a great time creating this content, and we truly hope it inspires you to embrace positivity and persistence in your own journey. If this podcast episode inspired you or entertained you, scroll down, hit those stars, and leave a comment or two. Your 5-star reviews and shares encourage us and help us grow the show. So until next time, stay positive, stay persistent, and remember, mindset is everything.